Hi everyone, Robert from Pioneer Electronics. On today's workshop, I will show you how to optimize your DMH-WT 6000 NEX. The new DMH-WT 6000 NEX is the new flagship AV receivers from Pioneer. So this is by far the best AV receivers that Pioneer ever made for sound quality. So we overbuild the electronics and the software in a way to make it expandable, but also deliver great sound quality from different sources, especially when it comes to streaming with your smartphone on a daily basis. That unit is also coming with a PX Link companion app that will let you do different sets of great things, from the basic configuration of the unit, do the over-the-air firmware update as an example, but we will also be able to share with you different tips and tricks that we will share within the apps in a way to give you the best out of the WT6000 NEX. As I mentioned, this new AV receivers is pure magic when it comes to deliver audiophile grade type of music from the typical audio source that you will also enjoy, of course, from streaming services. So we will show you in the next step what will be the basic setup you should do on the unit to optimize it. Okay, so before starting the unit, the first thing you will need to do is to install the PX-Link app on your smartphone. Once it's done, you can turn on the unit. And this will be the first question that you will need to answer. So you select your language first. Then the second question will be about speaker mode setting. For the people who are new to Pioneer unit, the standard mode will be a setting where you will have the front, rear, and subwoofer output for your RCA setting. And the network mode will be subwoofer output. The rear connector will be now a mid-range output with high cut and low cut, so mid-range output. And the front RCA output will be converted to high-pass filter for your tweeter as an example. So basically a low, mid, and high output. So let's say here that we're keeping the standard mode, safety warning. And the question that you see here is to make sure that you have already downloaded the PX Link app. If not, you'll have the QR code to do so. Basically, from that point, the only thing that you will need to do is, with your smartphone, be ready to do Bluetooth pairing, hit connect, look for the DMH-WT unit here that I'm selecting on my iPhone. And basically what I will need to do here is give the approval and access to both devices to see the other hand of the communication. So basically doing the pairing process and allow both device, the receivers and the smartphone, to share what they need together. By doing these steps, everything will work, as you can see, and start by itself. So basically, this is the smoothest process that we ever had at Pioneer in a way to do the configuration of the unit. So just by clicking yes for the pairing system, it initiates all the required sequence to do the basic Bluetooth and free communication pairing, the CarPlay pairing or Android Auto, and at the same time the system will also create the pairing and the communication link between both the Pioneer unit and the smartphone in a way to give you 100% of the access you need for the system for PX Link. So this is your initial boot and setup of the unit. The initial pairing process is what I can easily qualify as the easiest process we ever achieve. As a quick first interaction of the unit can show it, the DMH-WT 6000 NEX processing power is simply a beast. So The main reason behind this performance is the main processor that is a quad-core 64-bit architectures paired with a 16 gig of DDR4 RAM. So that make everything smooth and responsive no matter what the task the unit will deal with. Uh, as you will understand, this is one of the key tool behind the great user interaction, but also a great tool behind the audiophile grade unit that is actually transpire audio and video performances. Let's have a quick look at it. Okay, so now that your initial pairing with the system is done, you need to set a little few things in a way to customize the unit and make it more in line with what you want and needs. But first, let's have a look at how fast and responsive that unit is. As you can see here, I have my setting menu, so I can scroll with different things. I'll turn off that demo mode first, just in a way to avoid it to turn on, and you will need to turn off for your daily basis that mode as well for sure. So basically what you can see here is the configuration menu, but let's have a look at how quick it is. So as you can see, it's stick under my fingers. It's crazy fast on the reaction setting. So that unit is screaming for performance. So no matter what you will do, audio or video streamings, that will be quick, responsive all the time. So first thing, as I mentioned, turn off that demo mode here. The other things is if you're using a steering wheel control with the wired jack input, not the 4-pin connectors, really the 1/8 jack right beside the power connectors, so basic steering wheel interface, you will need for this unit to set this to adapter. If you have a advanced vehicle interface like Maestro RR or Access module with the 4-pin connectors, then you don't need to turn this on. Basically, the reason why that change is to give priority to the advanced data bus. You can set the dimmer setting here, where you will be able to select automatic. That will be in partnership with the illumination wire from the dashboard of the system. Manual, if you want to set it permanently to a night or day mode as an example. And the time base, that will be basically a timer, let's say as an example from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. to have the night mode, and then the day mode for the other time of the day. Once it's done, you can go back. Your clock setting is here. Basically, this system will match the GPS information of the system. Once it's locked to the right time zone, you should no longer need to adjust that clock information from the system. Pictures of the adjustment here, those are specific for each input of the system. As an example, a backup camera. So if I'm doing the adjustment of the brightness, contrast, the color, or the dimmer for the backup camera, that will be applied only for the backup camera source, not the other source. Same thing for the menu. And if I'm turning on or off the illumination wire, as an example, if I'm in automatic mode, the dimmer setting will apply those change only to that specific mode. So I have a specific dimmer setting for the day and a specific dimmer setting for night, and this is for each sources again. System language that we already set, and basically those will be the basic setting for the screen. So you can push further, but with those you will set, let's say, 80% of the image setting. Parking security setting here, it's part of the luminous bar we see here at the top blinking right now. So if you set this on, you will have LED that will blink red at the edges of the light bar, the luminous bar, when the system will be with accessory off on the car. So basically, if the car is not in drive mode, you will see those LED blink on each end of the luminous bar. Going back here, input output setting, camera setting. So camera setting here, do I have a camera input to be active, yes or no? Camera polarity, so basically if I have a 12 volt trigger that is giving me 12 volt information while the backup lamp are on, then I'll need to set this to battery. If not, that will be ground. And this is where I can adjust the parking guideline in a way to match the overlay of the backup camera. So go back to this again. AV source setting. So radio setting. If I want to do the blending, seek or local, that will be set. Basically, those are gray right now because the tuner is off. So you need to select the right source before going to those setting. Same thing for Sirius XM and USB. Luminous bar setting here. I can adjust the brightness level. Here again, turning on the light on the car or off will give me two adjustment here for the day mode and the night mode as well. The guidance, which is basically my visual guidance support from the navigation part of the luminous bar that I can set to on or off. Here I can set the typical music mode that I want to have for the system. So basically the mode 1 will be from edge to center, and the mode 2 will be from center to the edges, as you can see. And the ambient light will be to have the luminous bar on and with a color match of the side rail button here in a way to match the color of the car for the setting. So this is basically the luminous bar setting. By going into the theme, I can change the background of this system with different sets of background. For those who want a spectrum analyzer, we can do it. Let's keep that one here. Go back. The illumination, if I want to change the color of the button, as an example. And the appearance, if I want to work with the dimmer, with the light mode only, with the dark mode only. And here I can select a splash screen that I can import from a USB thumb drive, or that will be easier to do it from the wallpaper here from the PX Link app. So those are the basic setting that you will need to do first. After that, you can go into the main menu screen from that button here, and you can select edit and a way to make it yours here. As an example, I'm an iPhone user here, so I no longer want to have the Android Auto icon. I can delete it. Done. And if I want to add another source, then I can do it from here. As an example, SXM here, and done. So basically I have all the source available with my quick access menu. And what's nice with PX Link here is I can set my I can set my button here in a way to customize it the way I want it. So if I want to, let's just move it back to the main menu. If I want to have the mute here to a different place, I can just drag it there. And as soon as I'm hitting done, I change the configuration and the layout. So basically I can do whatever I want with the PX Link app to sync with the main system menu. So pretty cool. Let's now have a look at the audio section. After all, the DMH-WT6000 ENIAC is an audiophile AV receiver. Despite the fact that we've designed this unit with more than enough power under the hood to do all the requirement for the task within the main processor, the team at Pioneer decided to push the offer even further than this by doing a design that is not only based on a dedicated Pioneer exclusive DSP unit that is strictly doing one and only things, audio processing. So this will raise the bar for the sound processing and the sound quality. So now let's see what are the basic settings you should look at for the audio setup. Okay, so now that you customize the unit in a way to be more in line with your taste and needs, let's have a look at how to optimize the sound setting of the unit. So the first thing that you'll notice from the audio setting is the balance, basically the front, rear, and left, right balance that you need to set. So basically that should be set to 0, but depending on the taste and the speaker setting that you have in the car, maybe you'll need to adjust a bit those in a way to have the perfect balance of those speakers. You have the loudness setting. Basically you have 3 settings here. This loudness setting will give you an increase on the low and higher frequencies based on the level on the unit. So some people will appreciate to have those setting to increase a bit of the bass at low level, and that will reduce when you are increasing the volume. So the loudness is there for that. So some people like, some people don't. So here, basically, you will try and learn in a way to set based on your preference. The auto sound levelizer, we will look at this a bit later. The source level adjuster is basically a source matching for the level. So the reference point for the Pioneer receivers on the market is the FM tuner. So basically, as an example, if you select CarPlay as the source, you will have it here. And you can adjust the sound volume from CarPlay to perfectly match the FM tuner section. This goes the same for the Sirius XM as an example, or the USB device that you may have, such as a thumb drive. So basically it's there to match the output level in a way to levelize all source together. Sound retriever mode, you have basically 3 settings. We will talk about it a bit later. So sorry, going back to the audio. You have here the speaker level adjustment. So basically you can increase or decrease the sensitivity of the output for specific speaker output. Because we set the unit in a standard mode, this will be front, rear, and subwoofer as I mentioned. If we are in network mode setting, this will change to subwoofers. The rear will be a mid-range output, and the front will be the high output. And you can also assign specific setting based on the different listening position. So basically in a way to better match not only the time adjustment or delay, but here to change the speaker level based on your listening position in the car. Here to go in line with the speaker level, you have the listening position. So basically this is the time alignment features of the system that you can turn on or off, and where you can also select different time alignment based on the system and the seat that you will have. As an example, if I'm selecting the driver's seat, I can change the distance in a way to perfectly match. So the basic way to do it is using a measuring tape, measuring the distance between the speaker and the listener head, and apply those numbers in the system here. We have the EQ setting with different sets of preset that you can have on the bottom of the system. And we also have 2 custom EQ setting where you can basically change those setting of the EQs in a way to make it the way you like it. And as you can see, this is really responsive. So custom 1 and 2 in a way to perfectly avoid peak or dip that you may have in the output based on the match that you will have on the speakers, amps, and the system itself. Subwoofer output that you can turn on or off. Crossover setting here. Here again we are in standard mode, so front, rear, and subwoofer output. where I can basically change the slope of the crossover setting, as I mentioned, up to 36 dB per octave, where I can also change the frequency. So as an example here, I can move it to 63 Hertz with the 24 dB per octave for the subwoofers. I can change the phase in a way to reverse the polarity. So here, the best way to do it when you're listening to your music, just look for a bass output that will be at your eye level. If it's in a wrong alignment, just click on phase here in a way to select the best one. If you are out of phase, the bass will seems or you will perceive the bass to be low at your knees or in the back, where if you change it in a way to be more in line for the acoustic phase, the bass will be perfectly aligned, so you will feel that the bass is coming right in front of you. So front speaker, pretty much the same thing. Turning on the crossover setting point here, I can change the slope and the frequencies of it. So basically, the best way to match your crossover point here is to look at the speaker spec. So if you have a 3 dB roll off, let's say as an example at 65 Hertz, then your crossover point should be 63 Hertz or 80 Hertz as an example, in a way to match those frequencies. If you go too low, so lower than that roll-off point, this will not be the best match for your speakers. So you will have too much versus what the speaker can achieve, and that will be an end result of a poor sound quality. So it's really important for you to be at that roll-off point for the crossover point or higher than crossover. Bass boost. Here, this is what it is. The name say it. Here, it's really important to be soft on that adjustment. For those who love bass, that's great. But here again, if you're adding too much, that can be an end result that will be really bad for your speakers. So be careful with this adjustment. It's always better to work with those things from the EQ section. And you have here the mute level. Basically, that will be a attenuation of the music or a full mute of the music when you hit it. Subwoofer setting that I mentioned here, and another way to access it. And here you can save your setting in a way to retrieve those if you're doing a restore of the unit to the factory default. So there's a way to load back those settings here that you just made, in a way to avoid losing those. If for any reason you need to do a reset, you can save and load these. So that is pretty helpful. So this is for the main section of the audio adjustment. Okay, now that you should be set with all the basic audio setting, we have few extras exclusive to Pioneer that will give you better driving experience. So the first features is the Pioneer automatic sound levelizers that will help you on one key things, basically minimizing the interaction with the unit based on how fast you will drive the car. So the system will just take care of remapping the volume based on the car speed, increasing the volume at higher speed or making it lower when you're speeding at slower speed. The second features is Pioneer exclusive advanced sound retrievers that is basically looking at the music source that you are dealing with, especially for compressed music, and where the system will recreate the lost harmonic tone that were lost within the compressed process of the music. This will bring back music to a lifelike type of sound with better headroom and better experience from music listening, even from compressed music. And this work no matter the source. Basically streaming source, which is the main target, but that will also work from the FM tuners. Now let's see where those settings are in the unit. Okay, now let's have a look at two great audio adjustment features that you will have on the DMH-WT 6000 NEX. So the first one is the auto sound levelizer. As I mentioned, this will make an adjustment based on the GPS information from the antenna. So basically, the faster you will drive the car, the louder the system will play. And if you are driving at lower speed, then the unit will reduce the volume from the main volume in a way to match the car speed. So you have different sensitivity that you can adjust based on your preference. And the main goal here is to have a system that will work for you. So minimizing the interaction on the unit and making a safer drive for you. The other one is the Pioneer exclusive advanced sound retriever. So that mode have two settings when it's on. So basically you can turn this off if you're listening all the time, as an example, to lossless music. But if you do like most people do today's with the streaming sources, then you will enjoy it for sure. So hearing is believing. So give it a try. You'll be really impressed at the end result. So we have two modes. So basically what we're doing with the sound retrievers is we're looking at the music data in a way to extract the real information, and we're putting back things together with the harmonics. So bringing back liveliness to the music. So you have two different settings based on the level of compression of your music. Just try it. You'll be really amazed at how good it is. There you have it, guys. So with this different setting, I think you have a great way to optimize your DMH-WT 6000 NEX. But there's one key things that I want you to remember as the final note, if I can say it this way. Please remember that this unit is now showing a transceiver for the wireless section that is 4 times stronger and better than what it was. So we will give you the best sound quality you can enjoy for a wireless CarPlay streaming session or Android Auto wireless streaming session. So this is not only a great audiophile AV receivers, this is something that you will enjoy in every time you will hit the road with the car. Again, that was the workshop on the DMH-WT 6000 NEX. My name is Robert. For more details, I invite you to look at our website, usa.pioneer. Thanks for watching.